Welcome back to the deep dive. Just a few days ago, we were all kind of buzzing about that surprising news, weren't we? Billy Ray Cyrus and Elizabeth Hurley, possibly an item.
Yeah, it definitely grabbed attention. A real unexpected pairing, you could say.
Totally. Given, their public lives and seemingly different worlds, the first reports left a lot of questions, like, how?
Exactly. And that's where we're picking things up today. We covered the initial shock, but now we have some really poignant details coming straight from Billy Ray Cyrus himself.
Right, he's spoken out about how this whole thing actually started.
He has, offering a much more intimate look, really, into the beginning and the sort of emotional side of this connection.
Okay, and for this part of the deep dive, we're looking at recent pieces from Daily Mail Online and Page 6.
That's correct. They feature his first public comments, really digging into the relationship with Elizabeth Hurley.
Got it. So it sounds like this all kicked off when Billy Ray was in a really tough spot after the split with Firerose.
That's what he described, yeah. Pretty powerfully, too. He used this phrase, feeling knocked down any flatter than laying on your back when life is kicking you.
Wow. That really paints a picture. Just bleak.
It does. It conveys a lot of distress.
And then right in the middle of that, completely out of the blue, he gets this text message from a number he doesn't even recognize.
Exactly. And the sender, Elizabeth Hurley.
Just incredible. What did the text say?
Well, according to him, it was pretty simple, but clearly very supportive. Something like, hey, it looks like life might be a little bit tough, and just wanted you to know I'm in your corner. You've got a friend in your corner.
Imagine getting that. You're feeling awful. A random number pops up.
Yeah.
And it's Elizabeth Hurley offering support.
Right. He admitted he had no idea who it was at first. Quite a moment, I'd imagine.
Must have been.
A real unexpected kindness. And for Cyrus, it clearly meant a lot. He said something about her reaching out in that second that maybe I needed most.
Yeah.
This friend who made me laugh. That laughter seems crucial.
A lifeline, maybe? It sounds like it. But they did know each other before, right? This wasn't totally random.
Not totally random, no. They worked together back in 2022 on that film, Christmas in Paradise.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
And even though he said they had very few scenes together, he recalled this chemistry and lots of laughter on set.
Interesting.
He specifically mentioned it was at a time I wasn't laughing a lot, so it seems like that connection, that ability to laugh together, maybe stuck with him.
Makes sense. And then they didn't speak for 2 years after filming Wrapped.
Apparently not. Which makes that text message even more significant, doesn't it?
It really does. Like, what prompted her to reach out then?
Good question. Cyrus himself kind of touched on that, saying, despite how different they might seem, they found they had way more in common than we had different.
Huh. So maybe a deeper understanding there than you'd think just looking at them.
Perhaps, yeah. And beyond just that initial contact, it's clear he really admires her.
How so? The way he talks about her.
Absolutely. He called her a great human being. And then there was that comparison he made to Dolly Parton, highlighting her intelligence, her business sense. That's not faint praise, is it? Especially coming from him.
Not at all. Comparing anyone to Dolly Parton is significant. And that theme, again, laughter. He said if you can laugh together, you can make it through everything.
It really seems to be the foundation, doesn't it? That shared sense of humor.
Why do you think that's so powerful? Especially when someone's coming out of a rough patch.
Well, I think, shared laughter. It's cathartic. It builds connection, lightens the mood. It can cut through stress. For someone like Cyrus, in that state he described, finding someone who made him laugh again, that's probably a huge emotional lift. A feeling of normalcy, maybe. Connection, definitely.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then now, of course, they've gone public. That Easter photo on Instagram, him kissing her cheek, pretty clear statement.
Oh, yeah. A proper hard launch,
yeah.
as they say. A definite signal they're comfortable sharing this.
And he seems okay with the public side of it, too, joking about the next photo.
Right. He mentioned people commenting that he's always the one doing the kissing in photos, and he teased that maybe the next one would be her kissing him. It sounds quite playful.
It does. He just seems happy, calling the relationship beautiful.
That sort of lighthearted banter in public often suggests they're feeling pretty secure and comfortable with each other.
And another layer, he mentioned his affection for her son, Damien, saying, I love her son a lot. That feels important, right? Blending lives.
That's a very significant point, yeah. It suggests it's not just about them as a couple, but about embracing the whole picture, the family aspect.
And reports mention them bonding over shared experiences, both having been through stuff.
Exactly. Us Weekly reported they've bonded over life experiences, and have both been through a lot in life. Suggests a kind of mutual understanding, maybe resilience built from challenges, but it also noted the romantic side is very recent.
So friendship first, it sounds like, which often makes for a strong base.
Often does. And there was that comment about her being a very compassionate person, which Billy Ray adores.
That quality compassion seems key for him.
Absolutely. Highlighting that suggests it's something he really values, maybe needed, especially after everything.
We also heard she spent time with him down at his farm in Nashville, enjoying a quieter life.
Yeah, that detail about sharing a low-key, nature-loving lifestyle, what do you think that signals about them?
Well, maybe shared values, a desire for something more grounded, away from the spotlight. After decades in the public eye, maybe finding peace in something simpler is really appealing for both of them. It paints a picture of connection in a more private space.
Exactly my thought. Finding solace together, and reports suggest they're just enjoying life together. Wanted to make it public, nothing to hide. Very happy. That openness is telling.
It really is. And interestingly, it seems this admiration wasn't just one-sided from the start.
Oh, how so?
Well, apparently, back when she was promoting Christmas in Paradise in 2022, Elizabeth Hurley mentioned that getting to work with Billy Ray was actually a big reason she took the role. No kidding.
Yeah. She talked about being a fan for a long time, even watching Hannah Montana with Damien when he was younger.
Wow. So she already had this positive view of him way back.
Seems like it. Which adds another layer to her reaching out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't just a random kind gesture. It came from someone who already, perhaps, admired him on some level.
This whole thing, though, is happening right after his very recent and pretty messy divorce from Firerose. That marriage was so short.
Such a whirlwind, yeah. Married in October 2023, separated by June 2024. Less than a year. That context is definitely important.
How do you think that impacts this new relationship with Elizabeth?
Well, ending any marriage is tough,
Yeah.
but one that was so intense and short-lived, it likely left him, as we discussed, very vulnerable, perhaps reflective, maybe reevaluating what he actually wants in a partner.
And Hurley reaching out during that time.
Exactly. Her support probably landed at a moment when he was particularly open to connection and understanding. Maybe kindness felt extra significant then.
And some sources suggest she initially reached out just to offer that support, right? During the Firerose split?
That's the suggestion, that it started platonically. One source told The Sun there had always been a spark from their movie time, but she apparently reconnected to help him turn things around when the marriage ended.
Interesting. And what about her friends? Any reservations?
Well, the reports mentioned some friends might be a bit concerned, maybe based on things in the past, but Hurley seems convinced he's turned a corner and is a changed man. That shows her faith in him.
And it's also come out that she's apparently been encouraging him to mend fences with his kids, like Miley and Noah.
Yes, that was reported, that she's pushing for him to fix those fractured relationships.
Given how close she seems to be with her own son, Damien, that feels like a really positive influence.
It really does. It suggests she cares about his whole life, his overall well-being, not just their romance. But there's complexity there too, isn't there?
Yeah, the reports also suggested he might have kept the relationship with Elizabeth hidden from Miley at first.
And that Miley won't be happy about it, potentially overshadowing her own album and movie launches. Family dynamics, especially famous ones, are rarely simple.
No kidding. And remember those earlier reports about him becoming a recluse after splitting from Firerose? Feeling like she was the one and shutting people out.
Right. It paints a picture of someone who was really hurting and maybe isolating himself. So Hurley breaking through that, it's quite something.
Definitely. It underscores that whole delicate balance when new relationships start, especially in families that are already under a microscope. One person's happiness can cause ripples elsewhere.
Absolutely. It's a complex situation.
So this deep dive,
Wow.
it's really shed light on the poignant start to this Billy Ray Cyrus and Elizabeth Hurley story. That unexpected text, the laughter coming back.
The rekindled connection from years ago.
Awesome.
Yeah. The mutual admiration now, the public displays, the blending of families. It's quite the narrative arc already.
It really highlights how unexpected kindness can land, doesn't it? And how connections can just reappear, sometimes after years. That text during his low point, it says a lot about just reaching out.
It really does. Offering support when someone might need it most, even if you haven't spoken in a while.
So as you're thinking about all this, maybe reflect on your own life. Have you had unexpected friendships or connections pop up and offer support when things were tough?
Yeah, or maybe a small interaction from way back that suddenly blossomed into something more significant later on.
Exactly. What does this story make you think about timing, about serendipity, finding that connection, that support right when you need it?
Definitely something to mull over.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on this developing story.